Hello everyone, I am Terry Candlestick and welcome back to the channel. Let's recap last episode, last part. Leo and gang leave the motel. They go to Leo's van, they find the tires shredded. So then they decide, let's run off to Carl's place. He's got a car. His parents got a car. Parents probably have multiple cars. But Carl's got the keys. So they find Carl covered in drywall dust, get the keys, and then drive out in Carl's parents' car. And then find Chase's car. Torn up, destroyed, Duke dead, and standing over it, it's the monster! Oh my gosh! The first time I read Echo, or not read Echo, I listened to Echoes at work and I could only listen. I couldn't actually see it. So that was the first time actually seeing the monster. Holy crap. I described it as Lovecraftian. I think that's where the inspiration for it came from. Lovecraft is full of things with like long limbs and pale whites and like no hair and freaky faces. But if there's like another inspiration that you found that's even better, please let me know. Let me know if you agree, if you don't agree, if you got a better place that they got inspiration, or maybe it's just something completely unique that they came up with. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I always love hearing from everybody. So of course after that, the monster, goes after him. And then just shows us how incredible it is. It's like that look. I mean, first, it's just horrifying, freaking nightmare fuel. And then off in the distance, and then just closes that distance. And Jay says, like, a matter of like 2 seconds. Single digit seconds. And slams the car off the road. Yeah, I always thought that maybe the car was like, it was just making Leo hallucinate, doing the whole group hallucinate, so he actually turns around himself, and if he just kept going past the car, it would have just just disappeared, or like just faded before his eyes, and he'd actually leave and go to Peyton, or just chase his ass down. I have no idea. I mean, that's like my theory, but I have no idea. We just know it's super strong, super magical, super everything. So we will jump right back into it. My feet are fucking freezing. I open my eyes and stare down at them. It's almost too dark to see, but I can hear the sounds of sloshing water and screaming. Chase! Chase! What? My head aches and there's something in my eyes that stings. Everything's blurry. Jess, are you okay? A big paw prods at my chest and I look up. I can barely make out the outline of ears. Leo? Wait. It hits me like the car crash we were just in. That thing. I look out my window again, but it's all shattered and spiderwebbed. But I can see what looks like the water pouring through it. At the same time, I feel that icy cold sensation running down my back as the water comes through the broken back window like a waterfall. We crash into the fucking lake. Joss! I'm awake. I'm good. I grab at my seatbelt, taking way longer than it should to get it undone. All the while, there's a bizarre, feral, yowling sound next to me, and I don't realize it's TJ until his claws find my chest and arm and dig in. Oh no, not again. Ow! TJ, stop! Calm down! But he doesn't even respond, continuing on with that god-awful sound. Through the window! Carl's already up on the rear deck, trying to push through the water coming in. Come on! Carl's screaming, panicked voice disappears suddenly, and I can only hope it's because he got out. Just, come on. We need to get out. I feel Leo's big paws grabbing at me, but I turn and push them away. I'm fine. Let me help TJ. Joss! Leo, I'm a fucking otter. The water at this point is up to my chest. The car's front end is tipped down in the water, and with the sparse moonlight coming in through the back, I can see it's up to Leo's neck. Kudzu was somewhere in the back with me and TJ, where Carl was. He's staring at me, eyes wide, looking torn between escaping and helping me. Go, Kudzu! Through the window! Leo! Go out through your door! Joss! Go! I scream at basically everyone, and I can only hope they do as I say as I duck down and the water goes over my head. The quiet peace of underwater is a sharp contrast to the fucking chaos my brain is in. Somehow, in the wreck, the back seat crunched forward, and TJ's seatbelt buckle button is lost somewhere in the crease. I grit my teeth. I can hold my breath almost 10 minutes, but I know, for most other species, it's less than 2. Far less if you're panicking out of your mind like TJ is. I grit my teeth as I calmly try to reach between the fold between the seat and the back, despite the desperate clawing the lynx is giving me. Again, though, it's far too wedged in to get a hold on. Soon, my calm demeanor melts away as I fumble uselessly with the seatbelt, and time stubbornly marches on. I feel myself start to panic as I just grab TJ around the body and yank as hard as I can. But it's no use at all. When I pull on the chest strap, it's jammed. I can't get any slack. TJ's grasping and clawing starts to become weaker. I try to think of something to use to cut the strap, but there's nothing. Maybe a shard of glass? I move up and away from TJ toward the back window, trying to ignore how he weakly tries to clutch at me. As I reach up to the seat, though, my hand slips between the headrest and the rear deck. I reach further in and realize it's the trunk of the car. With a lunge, I reach down and feel along the bottom of the seat back. My paw runs up against something hard and metal. I know I found what I was looking for. I grab up the buckle and unlatch it. Swimming around as quickly as I can, I grab the strap across TJ's chest and set my feet against the seat. I pull back as hard as I can, and just like that, it comes undone. I scoop TJ up, his limp body giving me an extra burst of adrenaline as I set my feet against the back of the driver's seat and push out. My aim is a little off as my head hits the ceiling. Instead, I'm able to find the hole pretty quickly and kick through it. It's a little awkward to undulate my body in a nice clean swim with TJ's weight, but I manage it well enough, and within seconds we break the surface. I breathe out into the air while TJ coughs and sputters. His arms wrap around my neck tightly, and I have to put a paw under his arms to keep him from strangling me. TJ, we're good. You're good. Calm down. I look around and I'm amazed to see how far we are from the shore. It's a good 100 yards away. I can already see Kudzu standing there and Leo's in the shallows shouting to Carl, who's a few feet further in, splashing around. I kick off in that direction as TJ continues to hyperventilate in my ear. TJ, it's okay. Remember when you used to ride on my back in the lake? It's like that. Like old times. I tried to adopt a soothing tone between my ragged gasps for air. TJ does finally settle on my back, though his arms are still around my neck. Still a lot better than him dragging me down with him. His gasps calm down as we get closer to the shore, tapering off into a weird sort of mumbling sound. I can make out a few words, though, and one of them is a name. Sydney. I frown and swim a bit faster. wanting to get him to dry land so that he can get his wits back together. Meanwhile, Carl finally grabs onto Leo's outstretched paws and the wolf pulls him back to shore. All the while, he stares at me and TJ intently. He didn't deserve. Shh. I shush him gently as I finally feel my toes reach the sandy bottom of the lake. I gently pull the lengths back with me to the narrow strip of sand between the lake and the incline that slopes up to the road. Carl's already there, flat on his back, spread eagle. So I do the same with TJ, laying him down right next to the ram. He's still trying to talk, though. Jeez. Did Sydney... How long did he... Gently, I put a paw over the lynx's muzzle. It's all right, man. Try to relax. Breathe. Kudzu stands next to me and starts to reach out to touch my shoulder. You okay? And then a much larger paw comes out from behind me, pushing Kudzu's arm aside as I'm pulled back into a tight hug. Leo huffs into my ear. Thank God. You were under for so long. I'm okay. I reach back with a paw, settling it against the side of Leo's face. When I bring it back, I see that it's a bit darker than it should be. Ooh. I look back and immediately see the gash on the side of Leo's face. Shit, your head! Leo brushes off my paws. Your head! I think we both hit our windows when something hit us. I reach up, feeling around my forehead before I feel a sore, sticky spot in my fur. It isn't a bad cut, but it's definitely leaking a good amount of blood. It was that thing that we saw next to Duke. I saw it standing on a hill, and it just ran at us. I look over at Kudzu, who's moved to stand over Carl, his arms hugging his chest tightly. Kudzu, are you okay? I'm fine. His response is tense and a little high-pitched. I don't know about Carl, though. He had a little trouble swimming back. Carl lets out a choked cough in response. I gently pull away from Leo and kneel down next to the ram between him and TJ. He's conscious, luckily, though his panting is a bit shallow. I set a paw gently on his head. You okay? Yeah? He says it like he's asking me a question. You sure? I mean, yeah, I'm breathing. I didn't mean to leave you guys, but... It's fine. Staying with us would have made things way worse. It's strange to me how collected I am right now. I guess it's that same numbing feeling that I felt since escaping Brian's trailer. Just take the fucked up stuff in and roll with it. I'm not bad at swimming, but it was so fucking cold. And my clothes felt like 1,000,000 pounds. Looking at his thick sweater, it isn't a surprise at all. TJ's quieted down next to me. His eyes are open, staring up at the sky as he chuffs quietly. They're so wide and glassy I can see the reflection of the stars twinkling in them. I tentatively reach out and rest a paw on his head, like I did with Carl. TJ barely reacts, continuing to stare up at the sky. Tish? I feel Leo's huge presence crouch down next to me as he gets close and whispers into my ear. Listen, we should get going to my house. I don't like being out here, especially if that thing really did do it. But TJ, I don't know if he's able. I'll carry him. And he does, scooping the lynx up into his arms like he's a little baby. All right, come on. We can rest at my house. Let's just get the folk out of here. Leo starts trekking up the rocky slope. Kudzu and I wait for Carl, who lays on the ground a moment longer before finally rolling over and getting laboriously to his feet. I hold one hand, and Kudzu holds the other, and together we make our way onto the road and back into Echo. The walk to Leo's house is short, only about 15 minutes, but it feels like it takes much, much longer than that. Every tiny sound makes me jump, and I'm steeling myself for the moment that I see that creature again. Nothing happens, though. No screaming and no gunshots. Aside from the crickets, the town is dead quiet. Still, we keep to the shadows, cutting through some backyards and sagebrush, probably picking up dozens of spiders and ticks along the way. It's funny. Despite everything that's going on, spiders are the biggest thing that are on my mind as I push through the branches and foliage. Finally, the wolf's small house appears out of the dusty, dark night. Leo walks ahead of us with TJ. TJ asked to walk on his own halfway there, and now he's clinging to Leo's hand like a kid afraid of getting lost at the mall. I don't blame him. As we're walking up to the house, though, Leo stops. Kudzu, Carl, and I crowd behind him. What is it? Leo puts a finger to his lips, then points at the window on the side of the house. It's broken. Shit. Leo lets go of TJ's hand, then makes a stay here motion with the other as he starts creeping around toward the house. With some difficulty and a few awkward sounds, Leo pulls his gun out of his wet pants. I scream internally at the thought of Leo going in alone, but he is the only one with a weapon now. What happened to the one that Kudzu had? Apparently, Kudzu had lost his during the whole lake incident, which Leo was pretty pissed about. Okay, well, that answers my question. Thanks, story. Leo tries the door, then disappears inside, reaching out to make sure the screen door doesn't bang shut behind him. And then he was gone. We stand there in the silence a moment, then Kudzu whispers, "Hey, let's stand back to back just in case." Yeah, okay. Kudzu turns toward the road while I face toward Leo's house. Carl and TJ stand on either side of us. TJ hasn't said a word since Leo put him down. Ever since what happened at the lake, something in him snapped. Maybe we should have just gone up to my place. Carl gazes up sadly toward the mountains, his mansion somewhere hidden in the darkness. I don't know. If someone broke into Leo's place to steal stuff, they'd definitely want to do the same to yours. Knowing the town, Kudzu is probably right. Most of the people here resented Carl's family and the way their mansion overlooked the whole town. Like they're taunting us, people would say. I keep my eyes on the house, trying to see through the black windows. Leo hasn't turned any of the lights on, of course, so I can't really see anything. Listening doesn't bring any clues either. So, what do you guys think that thing was? I don't know. I still think it was a kind of animal. It practically bent the car in half. I say it out the side of my mouth, away from TJ. Maybe we should go inside. Probably safer in there if there is a burglar or whatever. Didn't the mayor say something about it? Like that it only kills us if we're trying to leave? I glance back at Kudzu. Is that what she was talking about? Kudzu shakes his head and shrugs his shoulders. I don't really know, Chase. We go back to waiting. I'm about to mention that maybe we should move closer to the house, just in case when we hear a scream. It comes from inside Leo's house, and it definitely doesn't sound like Leo. Carl squeaks next to me. Shit! I'm already running up to the stairs, though, and I hear the others following close behind. I push through the door, almost running headlong into the bench where you're supposed to take off your shoes. Leo! I shout just as I realize that it's probably a bad idea. A moment passes where the only sound I can hear is the heavy breathing of my friends behind me. Then... Down here. Turn on the lights. His voice comes from the hallway, and it's calm. I move a paw along the wall before finding the light switch, revealing the kitchen. We move down the hallway toward Leo's room, where I can see that the light is on. Inside, I find Leo standing over his own bed. In the bed, I see someone else. A little polecat, disheveled in a tank top, looking even more skeletal than usual. It's Clint, curled up in a little ball, cowering. Leo has his gun pointed on him. Wait, please, don't shoot me. I just needed a place to stay. Leo inches the gun lower. Then why aren't you at your own place? Kudzu and Carl stand next to me while TJ stands in the doorway, gazing in at us from the dim hallway. Leo raises his gun again, and I actually think he's about to shoot Clint. Clint raises his paws, whining. Leo, wait! He helped me find Chase. What? Leo glances at Kudzu, then back at Clint. He came up to my door last night. Told me he saw Chase in the trailer. I'm confused too, but I guess I never asked Kudzu how he was able to find me. My mind immediately flashes back to when I saw Clint peering in at me in the trailer, asking Brian for drugs. I might not have found Chase if he hadn't told me. Clint nods enthusiastically to that, but Leo doesn't lower the gun. Wait, Leo. Clint hasn't done anything to hurt us since this started. Just... Everyone's gone fucking crazy. Might as well get rid of him before he gets a chance at it too. What? What are you doing, Leo? Leo's got a hardened look on his face that I don't recognize at all. Wait! I know how to get out of here. I think... Leo's stance falters, but only just. What do you mean? That's why I'm here. Just get the gun off me for a second, I'll explain. Leo is twitching and keeps scratching at his chest and arms. It comes off like he was able to find those drugs after all. Come on, Leo. It's all of us against him. He can't do anything to us. Leo keeps the gun up for a few seconds and finally lowers it with a dismissive grunt. All right, fine. How are we supposed to get out of here? Clint slowly pushes himself up to sit against the frame of Leo's bed, clearing his throat. Well, I think it might have something to do with the train yard. There's a moment of silence as we all wait for Clint to go on. He just stares back at us, though. well, stares at the gun in Leo's paws.
Clint?
Huh? Clint doesn't look at Kudzu as his eyes remain fixated on the pistol.
Leo, just put the gun down for a second, okay? On the dresser behind you or something.
Leo shakes his head.
I'm not risking our lives again, good.
Leo fixes Clint with a glare.
The most I'm gonna do is keep the gun off you, Clint.
Clint flinches when Leo says his name. I look over and see Carl twisting his paws around in the pocket of his hoodie, his eyes wide. TJ, on the other hand, is still standing in the hall, his eyes glinting softly in the dim lighting. For some reason, I get the feeling that he's only looking at me.
Tell us now.
Leo's tone turns dark and I look over, half expecting him to have the gun up again. It's still pointed at the carpet, but I can practically see Leo's fingers twitching against the trigger guard. He looks almost excited. Leo, I know, would never be so eager to kill someone, even if that someone happens to be Clint. I hope that when this is over, if we get out of this somehow, Leo is able to get back to that old self. Clint's shaking so badly he can barely speak. Finally, Kudzu steps in between them.
All right, Leo. If you want to keep the gun, that's fine. But can you at least step into the hallway? Maybe he'll be able to calm down enough. No!
Kudzu stops short, but I see him set his jaw, drawing up his shoulders.
Someone actually might have some information to get us out of here, and all you want to do is scare him shitless.
I can see Leo puffing himself up too, and I don't like the look in his eyes. So I step forward on Clint's right, practically blocking Clint from Leo's line of sight. When I do, Leo's eyes snap to mine, the simmering snarl disappearing from his muzzle. Leo, come on.
Walter, move out of the way.
His tone is gentle, like I'm some kind of kid. No, Leo. You're acting weird right now. Just calm down for a sec, okay? Leo frowns at me.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep all of us safe.
I see the wolf leaning his head to the side a little, like he's trying to keep an eye on Clint. Leo, let's go out into the hall. Kudzu, I give the raccoon a sidelong glance. Can handle him for a few minutes, okay? Kudzu nods. I take a few cautious steps towards Leo. He's looking between me and Kudzu now, and there's a different look on his face. One that I'm having trouble placing. I reach out and gently touch his arm. The muscles are hard, his biceps standing out thickly under his fur. Still, I gently try to push him towards the door. As I do, I feel him go a little slack, and with a whole lot of relief on my part, he finally starts moving toward the hallway. Carl, still gaping at the whole scene, suddenly seems to snap out of it and hurriedly moves out of our way into the hall. Leo reluctantly continues to shuffle down the hallway as I put an arm around his side, hugging him close to me. He responds with the same gesture. We pass a solemn-looking TJ, his eyes following me as we move toward the kitchen. You okay, TJ? He doesn't say anything, instead just slowly following us into the kitchen. His fur is still all spiky and mussed up from the plunge into the lake, and his clothes look uncomfortably damp. That gives me an idea. Why don't we all get our clothes into the dryer? Then maybe we can have something to eat. There's a moment of silence, neither TJ nor Leo giving me any response. Carl gives a muffled cough, though.
Hey, actually, I could go for some food.
About 20 minutes later, Carl, TJ, and I are sitting in the laundry room, putting our clothes through a dryer. I can hear Leo in the kitchen frying something up on the stove. While I should be worried about not keeping an eye on him, he's calmed down considerably since we were in his bedroom. Also, the laundry room is between the kitchen and the bedroom, so it would be pretty hard for him to get past without me seeing. So I keep watch, leaning against the wall, staring out into the dark hallway. Carl sits on the dryer, vibrating along with it, while TJ sits on the floor, cross-legged, looking at nothing.
This feels so good on my ass, dude.
Freaking Carl. We love you, man. What? The vibration?
No. The heat. I was freezing. I didn't even realize it.
Carl knocks his hooves against the side of the metal dryer.
Hey, Tej. Want to join me up here?
No, thank you.
You could just lean up against the side. You gotta be cold, too.
This time, TJ doesn't say anything, and I finally look away from the hallway. TJ, are you okay? Do you want to talk? TJ looks up at me again with those emotionless eyes. No. He says it so quietly, it's almost like he didn't say anything at all. I hold his gaze for a while before looking away.
Oh, don't worry about it, Tej. We're gonna be out of here in no time.
Carl slides off the dryer, his damp underwear squeaking loudly against the metal as he clops to the ground. He gives a few strategic tugs at his underwear to properly loosen the wedgie he created. Then he sits down on the ground in front of TJ, cross-legged as well. TJ barely looks up at him, and I notice the lengths trembling slightly.
Listen, back at my house, I was like stuck in this weird trap version of my house. Like there was no exit.
TJ finally glances up at the ram.
And, well, I thought I was gonna be stuck forever. And I was panicking. It was like a nightmare that wouldn't end. But then, right when I was giving up, you guys woke me up. I mean, sure, I sort of woke up in another nightmare, but at least it's with you guys, right?
I hear shuffling, then the bedroom door swings open fully and Kudzu appears, slipping out and closing the door quietly behind him. The raccoon spots me and moves over to stand next to me, his ears perked. Hey.
Hey.
I see Kudzu's nose twitch at the air, looking towards the kitchen.
Leo?
He's cooking. Aw. So, how'd it go? You were in there for a while. Kudzu sighs and leans against the wall of the hallway, looking back at the closed door.
I don't know, really. Said something about a train going through here the past few days after everything started. Through the rail yard? That's what he says.
Huh. That didn't make much sense. That rail yard has been abandoned for the past at least 50 years. Are you sure he isn't just like the rest of us, seeing things? Kudzu shrugs.
I don't really know. Hard to tell with a guy like him.
Yeah.
Well, I remember some guys inspecting the rails a few weeks ago. maybe they opened one up again.
That idea also seems strange to me, but I don't know much about trains. So, what? If there is a train going through here, are we just gonna jump onto one?
That was his plan, anyway.
Huh, sounds like fun. My mind jumps to Robert Smith and what exactly happened to him when he tried to hop a train. Even if we were able to get on a train, could that creature thing still get to us? It was able to knock the car into the lake, so I don't know how capable it is. So when does the train come?
Not sure. He says it seemed random.
I sigh loudly. That's when we all jump as the tire finishes with a loud, grating buzz. I shakily rub my face, then move to open the dryer. Well, let's at least get our clothes back on. Then we can go into the kitchen and tell Leo what's going on. We all sit at the table, quietly eating as Kudzu tells Leo everything. The food looks like some kind of vegetable stir-fry. The first bite reminds me that I'm starving, and it's not hard to just try and shove all of it into my mouth at once. Carl, sitting across from me, does just that.
That sounds like a load of bullshit.
Kudzu shrugs.
I don't know what else to go on. Why would he lie anyway? To buy himself some time.
Kudzu closes his eyes for a second, breathing in deeply.
Listen, Leo. There's no way he's going to try anything. He's scared out of his mind right now. Duke was scared. Didn't stop him from trying to kill us. He's probably worse that he's scared.
Leo looks up the hallway toward the bedroom, and I'm starting to not like the look in his eyes again.
In fact, I'm wondering why the fuck we left him in the room alone in the first fucking place.
Leo starts to show his teeth. I reach out and rest a paw on the wolf's arm, again feeling the tensing of the muscles underneath the fur. Hey, don't worry about it. But he jerks his arm away and suddenly turns on me.
Why the hell are you on his side with this shit? You were with that fucking bear. You know what these crazies are doing.
I wince internally, being reminded of the incident, but I try again, reaching out. Yeah, but Clint isn't Brian. You know he was pushed around by that bear, too. Leo pulls his arm further away from me. He's looking back and forth between me and Kudzu again.
What is this? You're both acting like I'm the crazy one.
The wolf pushes his chair back from the table.
I heard you whispering shit in the hallway. You've been saying things behind my back.
Leo narrows his eyes at Kudzu.
Whoa, dude, chill. Oh. Why don't you keep eating, Carl?
Leo shifts his gaze towards the bedroom again before abruptly standing up.
I'm gonna check on him.
Leo. I start to stand as well, but Kudzu is one step ahead of me. He moves to intercept the wolf, both hands out.
Come on, Leo.
But he doesn't get the finish. Instead, the wolf goes straight into him, grabbing one of his arms and punching at his face. Kudzu sees it coming and is able to duck, but he's not quite fast enough. No, Leo's going off, dude. Leo's knuckles glance off the raccoon's muzzle, knocking his head around. Leo keeps a hold of the arm and swings Kudzu around away from the hallway and back into the kitchen. Kudzu takes the fall rather well, going into this sort of roll. He does end up banging against Carl's chair, but he comes up on one knee, panting and staring up at Leo.
His nose is bleeding. What the fuck? I'm standing before I know it and moving around the table to stand at Kudzu's side. I look over him, trying to see if Leo had done him any serious damage before I look back at the wolf.
What are you doing?
Carl clumsily tries to help the raccoon up, his ears flat against his head. Leo breathes heavily, staring down at Kudzu before his eyes flick to me.
Get away from him.
What?
Get away from him.
This time, there's a growly quality to his voice. I see his fingers drift towards his belt. I do move away from Kudzu, but only just. I don't want either of us getting shot. Leo turns his attention to Kudzu.
You out.
Kudzu stares up at the wolf for only a moment before getting briskly to his feet. His breathing is so erratic, I'm wondering if he's going to have a panic attack. He gives me a single glance before hurrying out of the kitchen. I want to stop him, get in his way like he did Leo's, but the look on Leo's face right now has me frozen, and I can't do or say anything as I watch the raccoon's tail disappear. I hear the door swing open, then bang shut. I look back and almost jump to see Leo's eyes are still on me, studying me. He stares a while longer before turning away and stomping loudly down the hall. Run, Clint, run. Shit. Carl is frozen next to me, and TJ just sits there, his eyes down on his plate, food untouched. Still numb, I have to force myself to walk forward, following Leo, terrified of what's about to happen. Leo, wait. My voice is too quiet, too soft for the wolf to even hear me. The door ahead of me swings open. There's a moment of silence, then Leo curses loudly, and I run to the door frame looking inside, not sure what I'm about to find. What I find is nothing. No one's inside. The covers of the bed are thrown back, the window wide open.
See, I told you.
Leo's voice goes from an almost scream to a hushed whisper as he moves to the window, looking out into the night. He slides the window shut and locks it.
This is exactly what I was worried about.
What? Inside, I'm relieved more than anything. For some reason, I'm positive that if Clint was still here, or if Leo had caught him in the act of trying to escape, I don't doubt he would have tried to shoot him.
That stupid fucking raccoon, thinking he knew what was best.
Leo continues to peer out the window, his ears perked up.
I know what the hell's best for us. Thinks he can just come in here and tell everyone what to do. See what happens.
I start to move back into the hallway toward the kitchen, but Leo suddenly whirls around on me. His frown turns into a sort of uncertain smile.
Hey, Walter. Are you okay?
I don't say anything. I just stare at him.
Walter?
Vaguely, I can hear Carl clopping around uncertainly in the hallway, probably too afraid to get close. I try to speak, then wet my lips. Yeah? Leo extends a paw.
Come here. Did I scare you?
I fidget with my paws.
No.
No?
Well, come on then.
Slowly, I move into the wolf's room. Despite my dragging feet, my mind is racing, trying to decide what the hell is going on, what the hell I'm going to do. Leo's lost it. There's no question about that. It's something I've sort of known for the past day, ever since we found him in Duke's basement. And now it's getting worse. A lot worse. Still, I continue to move toward him, like I am in some kind of dream. Soon he's got me wrapped up in his arms, and despite the warmth, despite the strength I feel in them, I don't feel good about it at all. I'm just scared.
Chula.
He breathes into my ear, sending shivers down my spine.
I told you, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you safe. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
He starts rocking me back and forth, shifting us around on his feet like we're doing some kind of half dance at prom. He's moved us around so that I'm looking at the door. I can see Carl's horns, his eyes fearfully peering into the room.
That raccoon, he wasn't good for you.
Good for me?
He helped me.
Leo gives me a squeeze that almost knocks the breath from my lungs, and that cuts me off.
Maybe not. I could see him acting strange, kind of like the others.
The wolf continues to rock us back and forth as I continue to look over Leo's shoulder, seeing in Carl's eyes that this is definitely fucked up. I don't say anything else to Leo, worried about how he might take it if I keep trying to convince him that Kutsu was only trying to help us.
I'm going to get you all out of here, like I should have done from the beginning, okay?
He gives me a little shake when I'm silent a little too long.
Okay.
And he keeps rocking me like that for what seems like hours. And when we make another revolution, I see that Carl's not there anymore. Then I hear something. Soft at first, then louder and louder. Leo stops dancing with me. I can make out a rhythmic, dull metallic sound accompanied by a horn. A train?